I'm delighted to be joined by Tyrone footballer Cathal McShane to celebrate 30 years of the Alliance Leagues. 6 counties will wear once-off retro jerseys inspired by those worn in the first season of the Alliance sponsorship of the competition. The jersey will be worn this weekend by Tyrone and Mayo in the football, along with Galway, Clare, Wexford and Cork in the hurling. Cathal, thanks a million for joining me today. I see you have the jersey on. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, that's it. It's taking me back to probably 2003 whenever I was looking at the WJ Dawn. Obviously the first jersey for Toronto and Sam Maguire and stuff. Added the colour and added that kind of retro look about it. So it's good to be here today to obviously launch the 30 years of Alliance League, and it's all for a good cause as well and women's aid. So we're delighted with that.
Yeah, definitely. And looking back at those teams that wore that jersey, as you said, in 2003. Was there players on that team that you always looked up to?
Yeah, no doubt. I remember obviously the guys winning Sam and bringing it even to the local school and stuff like that. So you Stephen Neal and Brian Durr and Peter Canavan, all these type of fellas. I know, obviously 05 and 08 as well, but you know those guys you looked up to, and especially me being a forward. Canavan was obviously there. Eoin Mulligan as well was a big role model. So just seeing those guys run out on the Croke Park made me dream of that as well. So it's obviously special as well that way.
And you went on and made that dream become a reality, and now you're the person that these young people are looking up to. Is that strange in a way?
Yeah, it's definitely strange. You don't feel it. You don't feel, just being honest, you don't feel that effect. Obviously, when you're looking up to the other guys, you're just in awe and you just want to mirror and image what they do. But obviously now when you're playing, you're just so focused on what you're doing. You sometimes don't feel the effect that you actually have in others. But I think the All Ireland last year was a great eye-opener to all that. Just the buzz that it had around the local communities for both kids and adults. And it was just great to have a really, really positive effect on people's lives, especially after we were in COVID and restrictions and all the rest. So that was definitely special. Yeah.
And have you seen any changes around Tyrone since you have become All Ireland champions? Probably in terms of, I suppose, kids getting out playing more.
Yeah, definitely. You can see that it's drove them on, and that's what we have to do. We have to inspire the next generation, and we obviously last year we'll do very well for that. But again, it's great to see now even my local club and stuff. All the kids, when you go down, they're out practicing, and that's obviously better in themselves, better in our club. And I know every other club's the same throughout Tyrone. So it's great that we can have that positive impact. And again, just after COVID and stuff, it really gives people, just put a smile on people's faces. And that was brilliant for us and as a team.
And for you, did anything change? Did people treat you a bit different now you're an All-Ireland champion?
Sometimes we get caught up in I remember the few days after there was this traffic jam in Canavan, and that's the local area, we just started tooting the horn and stuff, and it was next thing there's about 50 cars blaring the horn and stuff. So it was funny. It was just everybody was just in such a high. That's the best way to explain it. People that you might never have spoke to before, they were just coming up to make sure I was aware of how the Tyrone team and myself and stuff had such a positive impact on them. So it was great to see that, and hopefully now going forward we can continue to do that.
Yeah, and just speaking about going forward, obviously this season so far not the best start to the league. I'm sure that you would have liked. Last weekend you were bet by Dublin by 5 points in the end. I'm guessing it was a very disappointed dressing room after the game.
It was definitely down. We probably felt we didn't perform the levels that we could, and obviously Dublin coming to Healy Park with 0 points. They're going to be a dangerous animal. Do you know what I mean? So we knew that was the case, but we just didn't perform today. Obviously, a few things didn't go our way, a few decisions and stuff, and we played 14 men for a period as well. So you just have to get on with things and obviously look forward. And there's no better way to do that now. Be starting this weekend.
And just speaking about the 14 men, it was Porrick Hampsey. He was already black carded in that first opening half, and then he was shown a yellow for an off the ball incident when he saw red. So in previous games as well against Armagh, there was 4 red cards. Is discipline an area that you would like to work on, or have you spoke about it as a team?
No, I don't think. Obviously, every team's the same. You don't want to be going out and get red cards. I think the Armagh one was four red cards for one team. I don't think that's ever happened before. And I think at the weekend it was quite unfortunate just way how things worked out and all the rest. But as a Gaelic team, you have to be aware that obviously you've a certain conduct that carry out on the field, but you're so involved in the game and doing well and trying to perform that doesn't really enter your mind. Obviously, you do need to be cautious of it before. And listen, we need to be top notch with our discipline, and you have a better chance of winning the game being full strength 15. So that's definitely something we'll look at going forward. But it's no different to any other team, really.
Yeah, because after the game, like you're chatting around to people and you're seeing on Twitter and people are writing about, that's just Tyrone. That's the type of way they play. They're a physical team. What do you think when you hear things like that?
Well, just it's to be honest, it's something out there that maybe is said or spoke about. But for ourselves, we just sort of focus on doing our best and obviously giving our opponents a tough game, tough battle. And from watching Tyrone teams over the years, just looking back to even that clip that goes around with Tyrone and Kerry and Croke Park, and there's maybe 8 or 9 tackles within a certain period of time, that just epitomises maybe what Tyrone are about. But and you just have to be doing it within the rules and sticking to it. And obviously every player is doing their best and putting their bodies in the line to ensure that we get the best results for Tyrone.
And even after that red card, then you had probably the best period of the game with 14 men. So that was really positive.
That's it. We when you look back, you can see that although we were, overall disappointed with our performance, there's still big positives to take away. And at the end of the day, too, there was only 5 points in it. A couple of kicks of the ball in it towards the end. Now that's don't get me wrong, that's probably papering over some issues that we had because we didn't perform well, but. Maybe if we had a few decisions had went our way early on, we had the goal as well ruled out. But if that had happened, then it would have given us a better chance. But it didn't. So we can't worry about that. We just need to focus now going forward and going one better the next day out.
Yeah, and it is early days yet. You do hear people saying it's not the Tyrone of last year. What do you think when you hear people say that? Because last year you didn't have the best start. You got a tough defeat to Kerry, and then you went on and won the All-Ireland.
Yeah, well, listen, for us, it's just about we have to be sure that what we're doing in camp is correct, and that's the way we're looking at it. We just worry about what happens within Garvahe and the training field, and when we go out to play matches. And I can see that I was working hard in training, and it probably hasn't clicked yet, to be honest, this year. And there's lots of factors. You take in, just this, league football this time of the year. Obviously, last year was, was very competitive, and it probably took a lot out of the squad and stuff. And then we went straight back into our clubs as well, and that ran on into mid-November, December time. So it's been a short enough turnaround getting back on the board or getting back on the field this season. Sorry, and then it's just a matter now of really trying to step it up a level or two and go one more.
And do you think it will click in time? Because obviously the championship is coming around a lot faster, I suppose, than it would have last year.
You have to believe it. You have to believe it will, because every man's working hard. And don't get me wrong, we can increase our performance levels and we can go and give that extra few percent. And that's what we'll be aiming to do. And as I say, there's no better opportunity to do it this weekend. Like Mayo is a formidable outfit, and they're stronger than they were last year as well. So, that's a big challenge that we know we have to be ready for.
And then for yourself as well, then you played very much that impact sub-role last year. It was really effective. This year, you're starting more games. Is that a conversation that you've had with Brian Dewar and Fergal Logan to want to feature more from the start?
I think it is. I think for every footballer, they don't come into a squad or don't be part of a squad if they think they're just going to maybe sit in the background and just play a bit part type of thing. Every man wants to be challenged and putting on the starting jersey. But at the minute, we do have a really competitive squad, and I know for me, it's just about focusing on getting minutes, getting game time, and really building, getting that confidence back. Because obviously, since I come back from injury, I have been came on as that sub role last year, and it worked really well. Now this year, it's just a matter of trying to push and get back to those levels, maybe back in 2019. But again, it's not going to happen overnight. We need to keep working and keep trying hard, and hopefully that those days will come again soon.
And was it tough at times playing that sort of role? I know you're really unbelievable at it. Like, you actually finished off a lot of the games, and just like that All-Ireland final. But was it tough sometimes, sort of on edge, watching from the sideline, wishing you were out there?
It's definitely not easy watching from the sideline, and I didn't realise that probably going back to the club when I was injured as well, just watching the club play as well, it's so difficult. I used to wonder why people were shouting on the field and stuff, but once I sort of got an experience of that myself, I was like, now I know. But even just then, from obviously being on the bench with Tyrone last year, it was kind of, you had to prepare differently, and just sort of, you're not really getting really psyched up at the very beginning. You're just ready to sort of come on, and you need to be ready at that moment in time. And that's kind of something that I played about with at the start, but I think I nailed it quite towards the end for the important times. And it was frustrating at times, but again, you were just sort of knowing that you were coming on to help the team make the impact, and I was just happy to do that as well.
And Brian Fergal Logan, what are they like as managers? Is one more stern than the other?
No, both of them can be the exact same. Different days, it brings out different. Listen, things happen, and Brian, two different. You can go get a conversation from either or, and they both want the best for Tyrone. We've been involved, with them in under 21s, and now they come into the senior level as well. So they both expect high standards, and they drive for that, and that's what we're about. We have to deliver on those high standards, and again, that's kind of where we're focusing now going forward.
Yeah, from watching, obviously, just from going to your games, and obviously I've interviewed the two of them many times now, but they seem like such a good duo, and they both sort of complement each other in different ways.
You could say that for sure, because they've obviously worked together for a good few years. They know each other well, and they have that relationship there. But again, they from a player's point of view, like, as in, it's they just drive that high standard along with the coaches involved, and we have to answer that, and we have to they trust in us, so we have to deliver, that sort of way. So that's even for myself, just getting back in there and getting minutes and game time. You just want to repay that and keep driving forward and improving, and overall that'll hopefully help Tyrone going forward. And
a few players have walked away this year for their own reasons. It's always tough, I'm sure, to see lads leaving the panel.
It is, and I think it's people every life, people come up against things that maybe they have to deal with or react on and stuff. So again, just seeing obviously a few boys left this year, you wouldn't rule a few of those guys coming back in the future again. Do you know what I mean? But it's it was a big loss to us, because they could be massive. They could have made a massive impact in our year this year. And again, maybe not even from a bench point of view, maybe from starting in the team as well. So who knows? But at the minute we have a very healthy and competitive squad as well. So we're very lucky with that.
I just wanted to ask you as well, just about the conversation at the minute with the GPA and the GAA, if you don't mind. Players have been asked to, at the moment, a reduced mileage rate, and to continue to cap players to be only permitted to claim expensive for 3 sessions per week, and then any other sessions will be at the cost of players. What's your view on all of this?
No, well, as I say, I don't really have much to say on it, to be honest. But the thing that I would say is, last year, I think whenever COVID hit and there's no spectators and stuff like that, it was brought to us from our reps. The reps that's involved with GPA within the team. It was brought to us that there was going to be cuts and put in place and things like that. So we were happy to do that. That was the right thing to do because of the times that we were in. But I do also think we were made aware that there was an agreement in place that once normal times resume again, and there is spectators back in, and we can start to see more positive ways in life again after COVID, then things would return to normal. So I think that was an agreement was in place. So it would just be disappointing if that wasn't carried out, you know what I mean, once it was agreed on and all the rest. But I think the reps and the GPA and the GA are ongoing at the minute. They're having meetings in the coming days and stuff. So just from our point of view, we just hope that's all sorted, so we can just focus on what's important, the football.
Yeah, exactly. And for a typical weekend as a Tyrone footballer, what does it look like? Like, what gym sessions, what pitch sessions, how many do you do?
Well, like tonight will be my 3rd session, just in the gym. So obviously we train tomorrow night as well, and then we have a game the weekend. But it can be quite full on. Obviously, different times of year requires different meetings and different get-togethers and stuff. But it's probably too, even just different players coming from different situations. Like if you're maybe new to the panel, you might have to do a couple of extra sessions as well, because you're not up to that standard physically and stuff. So there's lots of stuff go on, but again, there's a lot of work has to go on to make sure that you're at the level to compete right at the top. Because if you don't do the work, then you're obviously you're not going to succeed. So there is a lot of work goes into it, and it's also enjoyable. We represent our counties, but again, there's obviously that hard work that has to go on.
And lastly, then obviously the Mayo game, you've mentioned it this weekend. It's in Omagh. It's a must-win game, and it's against a Mayo team that's really on form at the minute.
That's it. Again, I was just obviously watching the game last week. They performed a high level, high standard, and it's for us. We know that we need a reaction after our performance at the weekend. So we were back at it, this week. Just ensuring that we're putting everything in place to do so. But it's just taking one game at a time. We know the next game is a big challenge, but obviously we know that we raise our levels, we can get positive results as well. But we need to start acting on it, and it needs to start this weekend.